Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So today, the U.S. Department of Justice released their report about police practices in Chicago, and they found that there was a pattern or practice of excessive use of force in the Chicago Police Department. They found that police use deadly force 10 times as often against black people compared to white people. They found that police shoot at people who present no immediate threat. They found that the Chicago police tase people for simply not following verbal commands. They also found that the police have a practice of threatening gang members by telling them that they will take them to a rival gang's territory if they don't provide the information that the police are looking for. So they're basically threatening these gang members' lives. We're told that the police are supposed to protect and serve. How is that protecting and serving the community? By having rival gangs in further conflict with each other? All that does is exacerbate the horrible problem of gang violence in Chicago. This report also found that there was not an adequate review of the use of force. They found that the Chicago police shoot at vehicles without justification. Now, when we talk about this whole issue of shooting at people who present no immediate threat, we have prime examples of this in Chicago. There are many of examples, but two stand out in particular. The first one involves Laquan McDonald. In his whole shooting, when he was shot and the police released the videotape, that's what prompted this investigation by the Justice Department. So the police originally told the people that Laquan McDonald lunged at them with a knife. But later the video evidence came out, and it proves that the police were lying. It proves that the brother was walking past the police, away from the police, when the police officer shot him. The police officer shot him multiple times. Even as his body was slumped on the ground, the police officer continued to fire at this brother, shooting at him 16 times, killing him. Then we had a situation involving Mr. O'Neill, unarmed African American who was running away from the police. He was shot multiple times. That's another example of the police shooting people who present no immediate threat. And in the situation involving O'Neill, they fired into a car. The police fired into a car, violating all kinds of police policies and regulations and putting people in danger. Violating the policies again and acting in a way that's inappropriate. But this is what happens in Chicago. And, I'm glad that the Justice Department investigated the situation, and apparently Chicago has vowed to cooperate, and they're trying to work towards a consent decree. That's usually what happens in these situations. And there are a couple of things that I want to bring out about this whole situation. Recently, there's been a lot of talk about this incident involving the 4 African American young people who tortured a white man who was mentally disabled. As I was reading these stories about the Justice Department's report on the Chicago Police Department, a couple of these articles mentioned the Chicago Police Department's history of torturing black men. This torturing went on through the 70s, the 80s, and it ended in the early 90s, where they would torture black men and force them to confess to crimes that they did not commit. 2 years ago, the city was forced to pay reparations to those victims. And if you really want to talk about torture, we have to talk about these police practices, how they kill black people, how they have tortured black people, how these police essentially act like a gang. Instead of protecting and serving the people, they terrorize the people, they harass the people, they kill the people. And it's a good thing that we have a Justice Department right now under Obama that has been investigating these police departments for their racist practices, for their practices of using excessive force and racial profiling. Recently, there was a settlement agreement reached here in Baltimore between the Justice Department and the city. There have been settlement agreements reached in Ferguson and other decrees in other cities as well. And that's a testimony to what the Obama administration has done. I often hear all these people, all these critics, all these cynics, all these haters exaggerate and say Obama has done nothing, but his Justice Department proves these people to be wrong. This example here, not here, but in Chicago, is an example of what the Obama administration has done. And these same people who are critiquing Obama and criticizing him and saying that he hasn't done anything for black people, I wonder what they will say when you have Jeff Sessions as the Attorney General. This is a man who criticized efforts to overhaul police departments. He criticized the strategy of bringing lawsuits against police departments in order to bring about changes in police departments. So I just wonder, what kind of Justice Department we'll have when Obama leaves. And that's another example of why voting is so important. But I just wanted to bring you all this news about the Justice Department. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think. I hope that something comes out of that investigation. I hope that there is a consent decree designed to end these discriminatory practices. And I hope there's a national effort to end racial profiling and police brutality. It's just a terrible situation. We face a situation where we have a president-elect who condones racial profiling, who condones New York-style stop and frisk, a man who called for more law and order. So I'm very concerned. I don't think that we'll have a strong and robust Department of Justice under Donald Trump. And cities like Chicago will be free to engage in all kinds of discriminatory practices if you don't have a vigilant Department of Justice. So those are my brief thoughts about this issue. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.